All right, everyone. So today I wanted to go over the details of the most important event, or should I say set of events, in 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross Global for free-to-play players. And I wanted to tell you guys the details of it, but also exactly what to do and in what order. And this is very important if you are free-to-play. Now, I have good news for you, is it's not an exclusive event that you only will ever see one time. It's actually on a rotation, and you're going to see it quite a bit. But it's really important that when it does show up on rotation, that you maximize it and get as much out of it as you can, because you are free to play and you're not going to have access to those unlimited resources. So the event that I am talking about, of course, is the half stamina events. And there are actually 3 of them. The first one is going to be half stamina for boss stages. The second one is the one that is currently active right now at the time of me recording this video, and that is half stamina for free stages. And then the third one is probably the most important one, but they're honestly all important, and that one is half stamina for your Fort Solgris stages. So let's go through what you want to do and maximize these events, because again, it's incredibly important to do this properly as free to play. Having half stamina is so huge. It's going to allow you to get a ton of resources, and making sure that you get as many resources as possible and maximizing your stamina should be one of your top goals as a free to play player. So first of all, let's talk about the half stamina for boss stages. So what you are going to want to do, first of all, is find out which boss stage is going to be the best for your farming team. Now, I say this because even though the boss stages, the CP of the first one, for example, is going to be lower. If we go to extreme here, it's going to be 84,000 is the enemy CC. Now, if I go to the second one, which, let's see, we go to this one here, we go to extreme, you'll see that it is 87,000 enemy CC. Even though the second one went up a little bit and is going to kind of repeat that process for all of them, the later ones will have a higher CP. That doesn't necessarily mean that the very first one is going to be the absolute best one for everyone to farm. So depending on your team, the units that you're using, your composition, you're going to want to find the one that you can clear in as quick of a time as possible. That's the most important thing, because during these half stamina events, they're on a time limit, and your goal should be to get as many runs done in that time limit as you possibly can, which also means that it is very important to make sure to be working on your farming team. I know a few videos ago I mentioned that there's kind of 2 different paths you can take when you start the game out. You can work on your PvP team, or your main team, if that's what you want to call it, and then your farming team. And depending on what your goals are in the game, it's going to be up to you to decide which one you want to work on first. But you are definitely going to want to work on your farming team eventually for moments like this. You want to get as many runs in as possible. Now, when the boss stages are half stamina, they will cost 10 instead of 20, and you want to farm extreme. Now, the big thing about the extreme boss stages is you have a chance for 5-star chalices to drop, and these are going to be your awakening materials. You're going to need a lot of these, tons of them for every unit that you want to awaken, but also importantly, you're going to get some other really useful stuff. You will also get SSR runes, which not only can you actually use as equipment, depending on what stage you're using, you might not necessarily be using that actual type of equipment set, but either way, you still want to stock up on this in order to salvage them for those awakening materials for equipment. So you'll also be getting a lot of those, and you also get quite a bit of gold. You get 6,000 gold by default per run of extreme. Very importantly as well, make sure that you are using gold food when you're farming the boss stages, because this will double that 6,000 gold to 12,000 per run. Now, when you get a good farming team, you're probably looking at 2.5, 3 minutes per run. That means, up to 30 runs per hour. That is 12,000 gold per run. You are looking at 360,000 gold per hour just from the raw gold. That doesn't include the usefulness of those chalices and also the SSR gear. So boss stages are huge. You get a lot of really important, really useful stuff. You definitely want to make sure that you are focusing on, optimizing your team in order to do this. So you can take a look at the team that I use. I find that this team works very, very well. My runtime is, approximately 2 minutes, maybe a little bit more than that, but just work on the team that you are focusing on, and that's what you want to do for that. Now, after the half stamina for boss stages, the next one is actually the one that we currently have going on right now, which is the half stamina for free stages. Now, the interesting thing about half stamina for free stages is there are 2 things that you can do when this part of the half stamina event is out. Number 1 is the obvious one, which is to just go and farm your free stages for SSR gear. Now, this is another reason why it's very important to actually make sure that you are working on not only your main story, but your villages, because that will unlock these repeatable quests where you can actually go and do 8 runs. If I were to go and do 8 runs, not only am I going to actually get the drops from whatever quest that I'm farming, but I'll also get a guaranteed SSR by turning in this quest right here after I've completed it 8 times. So you can actually go through, and there will be 5 quests for each of these different pieces of equipment here. The only one that doesn't have a quest is going to be the rune, but of course the runes you're going to be farming from the boss stages. So you can get a lot of additional bonus equipment here. The only downside to this is you can't really auto AFK it for an extremely long period of time if you want to get these bonus rewards from the quest, because you have to check back every 8 runs. So this is what I personally like to do when I am actually at my device, whether it is PC and BlueStacks, link in the description of course, or mobile device. If I have my device near me and I'm not completely away, this is what I do. However, the other road to go down is food. This is something else that is going to get benefit from the half stamina. Now, these stages that I highly, highly recommend that you guys farm with these half stamina events are going to be Dalmali Plains and Broken Ruins, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. These are the 2 stages that you will need to farm in combination in order to get the materials to make that gold food, and you're going to be going through a lot of that gold food when it comes to those boss stages and also other aspects of the game. So in the Dalmali Plains, you're going to get the primary ingredient, which is going to be that jar of milk here. And you are also, let's see if I could actually, if I go to the actual rewards here, you're going to get this organic animal milk, and then you're going to get the 3rd ingredient, which is the Breath of Danafor. Now, also very importantly, you do not need to farm normal or hard when it comes to food. Easy is actually going to be your best bet because it is the easiest, the lowest stamina, and if you look at the drop tables in comparison, easy to normal to hard, the chances of getting the gold box and the silver box are pretty low compared to the additional effort and the additional stamina. So when you crunch the numbers and do the math, honestly, easy is just your best bet. And the great thing about this as well is you do not need to use a full team. You can actually just use 1 unit. I like to use Hauser. Of course, if you don't have Hauser or you don't want to use him, you really just want to go with somebody who can AoE in order to clear these stages as quickly as possible. You're really looking at maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds per run with just 1 unit. Now, of course, that's going to be 2 out of the 3 ingredients that you're going to need for your gold food, but Broken Ruins is also going to get you the secondary ingredients. And I personally like this one because you actually have 2 options here, because both the eggs here and also the milk, these are both going to be used, or maybe it's the organic, is one of these 2 of these are going to be used for gold food. So, whereas you could just farm eggs or milk anywhere, these ones kind of knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, if that makes sense. So this is what I like to do when I am not at my device, when I'm AFK, because I don't need to be there to turn in those equipment quests every 8 runs. You can kind of just leave this on overnight, rack up a ton of materials, get all that gold food for those reasons. So you can also farm other food, other equipment, of course, however you want to utilize your half stamina time for free quests. There's plenty of options, but these are the 2 that I think are some of the best uses of your time. Now, last up on the list here, the 3rd part of the half stamina event is going to be your Fort Solgris. So For Fort Solgris, what you want to do here, and another thing about this one which is nice, is they also tend to run a gold bonus alongside half stamina. I would farm the red book stage and then sell the red books. Now, the reason why red books is because this is going to be the easiest one in order to set up a team in order to farm it as quick as possible. And once again, that should be your primary goal. These events are very precious for free-to-play. You want to get as many runs in as you can. This is when you burn your stamina pots. If you are extremely limited on stamina pots, gold is going to be your top priority here, using your stamina pots for the last section of these half stamina. If you have enough potions and you probably will. You can also use stamina pots for the other ones, but you absolutely want to prioritize using stamina pots during these half events rather than using them outside. So gold is great. You want to, of course, do the highest stage. This will now cost 7 stamina instead of the original 14. And these books here, you can just quite simply go to your inventory and you can end up selling them to get a ton of gold. And honestly, if you actually really utilize the half event for Fort Solgris, you have a good team that can clear it really, really quickly. Once again, you're going to be looking at probably 30 or so runs per hour. You are easily looking at, over the weekend, 48 hours while this event runs, you're easily looking at 20 to 30, and some people are even reporting getting 40 to 50 million gold. That seems like a lot, of course, but definitely 20 to 30 million is very realistic if this is done properly. So this should be one of your top priorities. Definitely look out. Typically, the rotation for these half events is 1 week they are running. So you've got 2 days, 3 days, and then you've got a half week where they are not running and you do not have those events. So absolutely keep an eye out, not just for the calendar, but also in the actual notices here to see and utilize these as best as you can. So I shared a lot of info with you guys in this video. I hope that you guys learned and enjoyed. And if you did, and of course you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to leave a quick like as well. It helps out more than you can imagine. Thank you to all of you who do that. And more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross Global videos should be popping up on the screen right about now. Feel free to check them out. But if not, until next time, have a fantastic day, everyone. Take care. And this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.